You finally earn more. More than before. More than you used to dream about. And yet, something still feels wrong. You expected relief. But what you got was a slightly better version of the same pressure. You still check your account before buying things. You still feel tension when bills show up. You still tell yourself, next month will feel easier. But next month comes, and it still does not feel like enough. That is one of the strangest experiences in adult life. Your income rises, but your peace does not. Your salary grows, but your breathing room does not. You work harder. You earn more. And still, you feel financially fragile. Not because you are careless, not because you are weak, but because more income does not automatically create stability. Sometimes it only hides instability under a nicer looking life. That is the trap. And once you see it, a lot of modern adult life starts to make sense. The feeling people rarely admit. Most people do not openly say, I make more money now, but I still feel behind. But many people feel exactly that. They got the raise. They changed jobs. They improved their income. Maybe they even doubled what they used to make. And still, peace did not arrive the way they expected. That is deeply frustrating. Because in your mind, earning more was supposed to fix things. It was supposed to reduce stress. It was supposed to create space. It was supposed to make life feel lighter. Instead, many people just end up with better expenses. Better rent. Better clothes. Better restaurants. Better subscriptions. Better looking routines. A cleaner image. A more expensive normal. And then one day, they sit down after getting paid, look at what is left, and quietly wonder, how am I still feeling tight? That question matters, because the answer is not always low income. Sometimes the answer is a life that expanded faster than your financial strength. More money often upgrades the pressure. People think more income removes pressure. Sometimes it just changes its shape. Before, the pressure was obvious. Basic bills. Basic survival. Very little margin. Then income rises, and pressure becomes more polished. Now, it looks like this. A nicer apartment you must maintain. A car payment that follows you every month. More social spending. More lifestyle expectations. More convenience purchases. More invisible monthly costs. more things that feel normal now. That is the hard part. Once something becomes your normal, it stops feeling expensive. It starts feeling necessary. And that is how people get trapped. They are no longer only paying for needs. They are funding a more expensive baseline. Their life looks better, but their flexibility gets weaker. Their income improved, but their margin did not. That is why a lot of adults do not actually feel wealthier with more income. They only feel upgraded, and upgraded is not the same as stronger. The human side of it. This is not just math. It is emotional too. Imagine someone getting a raise after years of pressure. They feel relief. They feel proud. They feel like they finally deserve better. So they upgrade something. Then something else. Then something else. Not because they are reckless, but because they are tired. Tired of always being careful. Tired of always saying no. Tired of feeling behind. Tired of looking like they are still struggling. So the raise becomes emotional permission. Permission to breathe. Permission to enjoy. Permission to stop feeling small. That is human. That is understandable. But that is also where the trap begins. Because a raise can become recovery spending. A nicer phone because life felt hard. A better apartment because you were tired of feeling embarrassed. More dining out because you finally want to enjoy your week. Better clothes because you want to feel like your effort shows. None of those things are evil. But together, they can quietly erase the relief that the higher income was supposed to create. Lifestyle inflation is not only about luxury. A lot of people misunderstand lifestyle inflation. They think it only means buying luxury things. But often, it is much more ordinary than that. It is not always a sports car. Sometimes it is food delivery, becoming a default habit. It is small conveniences, becoming daily expectations. It is paying more for speed, more for comfort, more for image, more for ease, more for not having to think. Each upgrade seems small, reasonable, deserved, even efficient, but they stack quietly. And over time, your income does not feel larger. Your lifestyle just feels more expensive to maintain. That is why some people say, "I don't even know where it goes." Because the leaks do not feel dramatic. They feel normal. That is what makes them dangerous. When identity changes faster than your foundation, there is another layer to this. Income does not only change what you can buy, it changes how you see yourself. If you make more, you may feel like you should live differently now. You may feel like you should look more established, more put together, more successful, more adult. So part of the spending is not only practical, it is identity spending. You are trying to match your outer life to your new income. You want your life to reflect your progress. That is why raises often trigger upgrades before they create savings. Because image is immediate, foundation is quiet. Looking more successful feels visible right now. Building financial stability feels invisible for a long time. And many people choose what feels visible. That is why the raise disappears. Not because it was too small, but because your identity expanded faster than your structure. Why enough keeps moving. One of the deepest problems is that enough is not a fixed number. For many people, enough keeps moving. When income was lower, they thought a certain salary would finally feel safe. Then they reached it. But now, the mind wants more. Not always from greed. Sometimes from adaptation. Humans adapt fast. What once felt special becomes normal. What once felt expensive becomes expected. What once felt like success becomes the minimum. That is why raises often fail to create lasting relief, because the internal standard rises too. And once the standard rises, the pressure returns. Just in a more expensive form. This is why someone can earn far more than they used to, and still emotionally live, as if they are barely keeping up. The number changed, but the relationship with enough did not. What to do instead? So what actually helps? First, do not let every raise become a lifestyle update. Let some of it become strength. Savings are strength. Margin is strength. Investing is strength. A smaller monthly burden is strength. Second, separate real comfort from unconscious inflation. Ask yourself, does this improve my life? Or does it just become my new expensive normal? That question will save you money. Third, give every raise a job before it disappears. Part to savings, part to investing, part to debt reduction, part to intentional enjoyment, not accidental leakage. Fourth, notice emotional upgrades. Purchases made from exhaustion, from comparison, from wanting relief, from wanting to feel like you finally made it. The more honest you are here, the stronger you become. Fifth, build a life that stays light, even as your income grows. That is a real form of success. A higher income is powerful only when it creates more space, not just better looking pressure. Closing. In the end, a raise is not the same as relief. More income is not the same as more peace. A higher salary is not the same as financial strength. Those things only become real if your structure changes with your income. Otherwise, all that happens is that your expenses learn how to grow with you. That is why some people work harder every year and still do not feel free. They are earning more, but they are also carrying more. More image, more convenience, more expectation, more baseline pressure. If your income goes up, but your life becomes heavier at the same speed, you may look more successful without becoming more secure, and that is a dangerous trade. Real progress is not when your lifestyle looks better. It is when your life becomes easier to carry, easier to survive, easier to protect, easier to breathe inside. So if your raise still does not feel like enough, do not only ask, "Why am I still tight?" Ask, "What quietly grew with my income?" That question can change everything. Because sometimes, the real problem is not how much you make. It is how quickly your life learned to consume it. Thank you for listening, and for staying with me until the end of this video. Please subscribe to the channel for next video.